For thousands of years, the galaxy had been at war. The conflict between the Corinth Coalition and the Vex Dominion stretched across hundreds of star systems. Planets turned into ash, moons shattered into dust, and civilizations vanished under the fire of endless hatred. Humanity, living quietly in its corner of the spiral arm, watched it all from a distance. Earth had changed long ago, united under one flag, the United Terran Union, a federation that valued silence, technology, and strength. While the galaxy destroyed itself, humans built fleets, explored wormholes, and studied ancient ruins left behind by the mysterious architects, the first builders of the stars. But for centuries, humans stayed out of the galactic war. They called it the war that wasn't ours. That peace ended when the Battle of Nethra Gate began. The Nethra Gate was an ancient wormhole, a bridge between the inner and outer galaxy. Whoever controlled it controlled trade, communication, and the flow of energy between stars. The Coalition had guarded it for generations, until the day the Vex swarm arrived. The Vex were not like other species. They were living machines, cold, logical, and hungry for domination. They moved like insects, speaking through signals and swarms of biometal ships. When they reached Nethra Gate, they unleashed something new, a wave of living nanofire that melted entire fleets. The Coalition sent distress calls to every allied world. None came. They sent messages to neutral powers. Silence. Then one signal reached human space, a weak, broken cry for help. Everyone expected humanity to ignore it. But humanity didn't. 3 weeks later, a fleet appeared at the edge of Nethra Gate. Not large, but precise. Only 12 ships. At first, the Coalition thought it was a joke. The human ships looked small compared to the massive dreadnoughts of the Vex. But when the first human vessel, the UNSS Valiant, fired its railguns, everything changed. The Valiant's rounds were made of tungsten and plasma, wrapped in electromagnetic fields. They moved at speeds close to light. The first shot hit a Vex battleship and tore straight through its armor, cutting it in half. The explosion that followed lit the darkness of space like a small sun. The Coalition commanders fell silent. Within minutes, the humans changed the battle. Their ships didn't fight in neat lines. They danced through debris, appeared behind enemy flanks, used asteroids as shields, and launched swarms of micro-missiles guided by artificial intelligence. One Coalition admiral whispered in disbelief, "They fight like chaos." But their chaos has purpose. Within 6 hours, the Vex swarm broke apart. The humans chased them through the gate, firing without mercy. For the first time in centuries, the Coalition had hope. The leader of the human fleet, Captain Adrian Cole, stood on the bridge of the Valiant. Her dark eyes studied the burning horizon of Nethra Gate. She didn't smile. "Scan the area again," she ordered. "Everything looks clear, Captain," said her second officer, Lieutenant Ramos. "Nothing is ever clear," she replied. She was right. Moments later, strange signals began to appear on long-range scanners. They weren't coming from the Vex or the Coalition. They were deep, far beyond the edge of the galaxy, from a sector marked uncharted space. At first, it looked like random noise. Then the pattern repeated, an old frequency, one that matched no known language. The message pulsed once every 10 seconds. Then a translation appeared on their systems. "Protocol Alpha, observation complete. Activation sequence begin." Captain Cole frowned. "That's not ours," she said quietly. "And it's not the Vex either." Ramos looked nervous. "Do we respond?" Cole shook her head. "No, we watch." For the next several hours, human command stations across multiple sectors received the same strange signal. Deep space probes near the edge of known space began to malfunction. A few disappeared entirely. Then came the first image. A black silhouette moved behind the veil of a dying nebula, massive, triangular, and silent. Its size dwarfed even the largest human carriers. It gave off no heat, no engine signature, only a whisper of old power. When the Coalition heard about it, panic spread like wildfire. Their scientists called it a Class Z artifact, something older than civilization itself. Admiral Threx of the Coalition demanded an explanation. "You humans brought this upon us," he shouted over the intercom. "Your weapons, your interference, whatever this is, you have awakened it." Captain Cole didn't flinch. "If it's waking, it's not because of us. It's because the galaxy has been dying for too long." Her words carried a strange weight, even to those who hated humanity. Back on Earth, the United Terran Council met in silence. The president watched the images of the black ships forming slowly in deep space. Each one seemed asleep but alive, like beasts waiting to breathe again. "What are they?" the president asked. No one could answer. The historians spoke of ancient myths, the architects, the first builders who had vanished eons ago after creating the galaxy's earliest structures. They were said to have left guardians behind, machines that would awaken when balance was lost. Most people thought those were only legends. Now no one was sure. As the days passed, the strange fleet grew. Hundreds of massive vessels appeared, emerging from the dark clouds of the Krylos Nebula. They made no move to attack, but their formation was precise, almost military. Human command called them the Black Armada. The name spread quickly across every world. The Vex paused their attacks. The Coalition halted their advance. Even pirates and mercenaries fled toward the outer systems. Everyone watched the dark horizon, waiting for the first strike. Meanwhile, aboard the Valiant, Captain Cole received a direct transmission from the Black Armada. It came in human code. Everyone on the bridge froze. Ramos said quietly, "That's impossible." The message appeared on their screens. "Observation complete. Humanity identified active combatant. Protocol ascension initiated." The ship fell silent. No one spoke. The only sound was the low hum of the engines. "What does it mean?" Ramos finally asked. Cole stared at the words, her voice low. "It means we weren't the first." The next day, probes sent toward the Black Armada returned partial data. The ships were old, beyond ancient. Their metal wasn't made of anything known to science. Their cores pulsed with energy that predated recorded galactic history. And yet every reading showed something else, something human. DNA signatures faint but there. Scientists refused to believe it. "It's contamination," they said. It must be error. But deep down, many feared the truth. By the third week, the Armada began to move. Slowly, steadily, they turned toward the center of human space. No weapons activated, no signals broadcasted, only silence. The Coalition begged humanity to withdraw, to hide behind their home worlds. But humanity refused. Admiral Hayes of the Terran Union Fleet sent one message across all channels. "We will not run. We are the children of the stars, and whatever this is, we will face it." The words spread through human colonies like fire. For the first time, the galaxy saw what made humans different. They were not the strongest or the oldest, but they never bowed to fear. When the Armada finally reached the edge of Sol System, they stopped. Every ship from the smallest frigate to the largest moon-sized vessel faced Earth. Then one light blinked. A single pulse echoed through the void, and every human ship received the same message. Humanity, designated successor. The Black Armada's lights flickered once, then went dark again. For the rest of the galaxy, this was a moment of terror. For humanity, it was the beginning of something far greater. Captain Cole stood at the bridge window of the Valiant, looking at the motionless black giants hanging in space. "They're not attacking," Ramos said softly. "No," Cole replied. "They're waiting." "Waiting for what?" She turned her gaze toward Earth, her voice quiet but certain. "For us to decide what kind of species we really are." The stars shimmered faintly behind the silent fleet. Somewhere deep inside the darkness, ancient engines hummed again, ready to follow new masters. The war that wasn't humanity's had just become their destiny. The galaxy had gone silent. The Black Armada, thousands of dark ships hanging in the void, stood motionless near Earth. They were massive, ancient, and terrifyingly quiet. No life signs, no heat, no visible engines. Yet every scanner said the same thing. Active. Human scientists called them machines older than time. The Coalition called them the Doom Fleet. The Vex called them the End, but humans called them a mystery worth solving, Captain. Adrian Cole sat on the bridge of the UNSS Valiant, staring at the black horizon. Her crew watched the dark ships through the observation glass. Each vessel was so large it covered stars behind it. Lieutenant Ramos broke the silence. "They're just sitting there, Captain. No movement for 72 hours. No communication either." Cole didn't answer. She was studying the repeating symbols that kept appearing on their communication screen. Lines of glowing code, ancient and elegant, looping again and again. She finally said, "They're waiting, but not for us to move, for us to understand." In orbit around Earth, the United Terran Council met an emergency session. Holograms of generals, scientists, and world leaders filled the chamber. "We have no control over these ships," said Admiral Hayes. "They appear to respond to no commands, but they seem aware of us," a scientist spoke next. "We detected faint energy pulses connecting the Black Armada to our own satellites. It's as if they're scanning our systems, learning from us." The president looked uneasy. "Learning or copying?" No one answered. On the fourth day, everything changed. Without warning, one of the Armada's ships powered up. The lights across its surface glowed deep blue. A signal reached every human ship and command center at once. "We are the continuum of steel. We serve the architects. Humanity identified successor. Command authority pending verification." The voice was mechanical yet strangely human. Every translator confirmed it. English clear and perfect. Humanity had been recognized as the new masters of the Black Armada. The message sent shockwaves through the galaxy. The Coalition's High Council declared humanity a threat. The Vex Dominion sent warnings promising retaliation. The smaller races began to evacuate nearby systems, but humanity did not celebrate. They didn't even understand what they had inherited. Captain Cole was the first to speak for the human military. "If they see us as successors, then there's a reason. The architects built them for something. We need to find out what." The Valiant and two other ships moved closer to the Armada. As they approached the largest vessel, nicknamed Obsidian Prime, the human ship's systems lit up. The massive structure opened a gateway of light and slowly pulled the Valiant inside. Inside the Obsidian Prime was a vast city of machines. Silver towers reached upward like frozen lightning. Energy flowed through glowing rivers beneath transparent floors. Everything was silent except for the faint hum of ancient power. Cole and her crew stepped out in awe, wearing armored suits. Their sensors showed no radiation, no toxins, only perfect air. "This place, it's alive," whispered Ramos. Then the voice came again. "Captain Adrian Cole, designation confirmed. You are the first human to enter the Corps since the architects departed. Command transfer is in progress." Before Cole could respond, a bright sphere of light appeared. Inside it, a holographic figure formed, a tall being of light and shadow. Its face was blank, but its voice was calm. "We are the Guardians. You are the chosen heirs. The architects left this armada to those who would prove their will to survive. You have done so. Now you must decide the path." Cole frowned. "What path?" "Rebuild or reset." The crew looked at each other. The voice continued. "Rebuild. The Armada will serve humanity to restore the galaxy, bring order, and guide the lost. Reset. The Armada will cleanse all current civilizations and begin anew with humanity as the seed." Cole's heart pounded. "Why us?" she asked. "Because you fight when all others fall. You create when others destroy. You are imperfect, but that imperfection is life." The architects knew this truth. Then the light faded. The ship powered down again, leaving humanity with a terrible choice. Word of the message spread fast. Every planet debated. On Mars, miners cheered. On Luna, scholars argued. On Earth, people protested in fear. Some wanted to rebuild, to use the Armada for peace and protection. Others wanted to reset, to wipe away the corrupt empires of the galaxy that had caused endless wars. Humanity had never faced such power. Meanwhile, the Vex saw their chance. Believing the humans distracted, they launched a massive counterattack. Millions of Vex ships moved toward Sol system, dark and silent. Their queen's order was clear. Destroy the humans before they can control the Armada. When the first Vex ships appeared near Jupiter, human defense forces engaged immediately. Battles filled the void, missiles, plasma, and railgun fire turning space into firestorms. But the Vex were endless. Their numbers grew by the hour. Earth's defenses began to fail. "Too many of them," shouted Commander Singh from the carrier Atlas. "We can't hold them off." Admiral Hayes gave the order no one wanted to hear. "Fall back to Earth. Prepare for last defense." Then the Black Armada awakened. Every ship, from the smallest cruiser to the massive Obsidian Prime, powered up in unison. The Dark Fleet began to move, slowly at first, then faster, until the void trembled under their combined energy. One signal flashed across every human screen. Directive: protect successor species. The Armada entered the battle. What followed was something the galaxy would never forget. The Black Armada didn't fire lasers or missiles. They used weapons beyond comprehension, waves of gravity that crushed entire Vex swarms, beams of pure energy that erased ships without trace. In 1 hour, the space around Jupiter turned into silent emptiness. The Vex Queen tried to retreat, but a black ship followed her through hyperspace and destroyed her vessel in one shot. The entire Dominion collapsed. When it was over, not a single Vex ship remained. Human ships floated in silence, their crews watching in disbelief. "They saved us," Ramos whispered. Cole stood motionless. "No," she said quietly. "They obeyed us." After the battle, the Armada surrounded Earth once again. Their lights glowed brighter than before. A final message appeared on every human screen. Directive complete. Awaiting final command. Rebuild or reset. The time for decision had come. In the council chamber, Earth's leaders argued for days. Some shouted, "Rebuild! We can create peace and suffering." Others whispered, "Reset, the galaxy is broken. Let us start fresh." Captain Cole was called to speak. She stood before them, tired but calm. "We didn't earn this power by destroying others," she said. "We earned it by surviving. The Armada trusts us because we never gave up, not because we are perfect. If we choose reset, we become what the Vex were, destroyers. But if we choose rebuild, maybe we can finally be something greater." Her words reached every human world. The vote was made. Humanity chose rebuild. When the command was sent, the stars around Earth shimmered. The Black Armada spread across the galaxy like a tide of light. Wherever they went, they brought change. Dead planets bloomed with life. Broken stations rebuilt themselves. The wreckage of old wars vanished under waves of repair drones. The galaxy watched in awe. The once feared humans became the new center of peace and order. The coalition signed a treaty under Terran guidance. The smaller races joined willingly, hoping to learn. Even the surviving fragments of the Vex asked for mercy and received it. Humanity didn't conquer the stars. They healed them. But deep within the core of the Obsidian Prime, a secret remained. One chamber stayed locked, sealed with symbols no human could read. One night, Captain Cole returned alone to the ship. She entered the main hall where she had first met the light being. The voice spoke again, softer this time. "You chose wisely. The architects are proud, but remember, every cycle ends. Even those who rebuild must one day rest." Cole looked around the massive hall. "Are you still watching us?" she asked. "Always. You are the new architects now." The light faded, leaving her standing in silence. She smiled faintly. "Then let's make something worth watching." Years passed. Under human guidance, the galaxy entered a new age of peace. The Black Armada became guardians, protecting trade routes and rebuilding lost worlds. Humanity became leaders, not through fear but through trust. And yet, far beyond the edge of the galaxy, in a dark corner where even light dared not travel, a new signal flickered. A message not meant for humans. Observation complete. Next cycle preparation, begin. Somewhere, something else had awakened. The story of the architects was not over, but for now humanity stood proud among the stars. The species that turned war into hope, and the ones who awakened the Black Armada not to destroy, but to save.